Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our third session for data interpretation advanced level, and in these sessions, in fact in this series of session, I am solving the questions sent by the students. So if anybody of you is having any sort of queries on data interpretation, you can send it to me. Okay, so let's begin this session now. Here, the following pie charts give the breakup of operating expenses of a telecom company for 2 years under various heads. The operating expenses for the year 2011, that's 2011 was this, and those for year ending 2010 were rupees 91,000 million. Okay, so that's operating expenditure for the year ended 31st March 2011 under various heads, and here it is 31st March 2010. Right. In this year 2011, the total expenditure was 118,300 million, and in the previous year the expenditure was 91,000 million. Just two questions are there with this in this set precisely. So let's see the first one. By what percent has the expenditure on personnel changed in 2011 as compared to that in 2010? Now what maximum of students did they do is first of all, they'll find out the personal expenditure in this year. It's in year 2010 and then in year 2011. But you just see it carefully. Here also personal is 7% and here also personal is 7%. Right? So whatever is the growth from year 2010 to year 2011, the same will be growth in the personal, or the same will be the difference in the expenditure of personal. Right? Because in this year also it is 7% and in this year also it is 7%. Right? So 7% of this minus 7% of this. Right? So what we can do is we can find out the difference between the two, and then we can find out 7% of the same. Okay? And since we have to find out the difference in percentage, we can drop the last two zeros and million data also. So precisely from 1183 and 910. So from 910 the expenditure is 1183. So the difference between 1183 and 910 is 273, right? So 273 is increased on 910. So what is a percentage increase? It's 273 over 910 into 100. That is the calculation we have to make. So precisely it is very simple. 13 7, 13 2s are and 1. So it's 30%, right? So difference in overall expenditure is 30% and the personal expenditure is 7% in both the years. So it will also be 30%. No need to calculate personal expenditure separately. So 30% is the correct choice. I hope you are getting it. How many heads showed a decrease in expenditure in 2011 as compared to 2010? Now we have just calculated that the expenditure is increased by 30% from year 2010 to 2011, right? So if any head is showing if it is same, like percentage contribution is same, then there is no decrease or increase in the, that means the same 30% increase in the expenditure, right? So let's see, we have to find out decrease in expenditure in 2011 as compared to 2010. So just look at both the pie diagrams carefully. Cost of trading goods sold, it is 0.5% over here, it's 1% over here, so that's down. So one we have, I just write it somewhere, 1. Then just check other. Personal, it is same, so it's not going down. Administration, it is same. Business promotion, it is down from 4.5% to 3%, so just one more. Then subscriber acquisition, it's 12.5%, it is 14%, so it's not going down. Roaming and excess 20% here, and here it is 21%, so ruled out. License and WPC 14.5%, it is 15%, so not down. Network operations 35%, and here it is 34%. Now that's an important point over here. right? Here network operations are 35% and here network operations are 34%, right? So in absolute term, whether there is a decrease or not, see, overall expenditure are getting down by 30%, getting up by 30%, right? So actually what is happening in case of network operations, here the contribution is 35% of 910, right? And here it is 34% of 2011. Now this decrease from 35% to 34%, whether it is more than 30% or not. You getting my point? So this is 35% of 910 and this is 34% of 1183, right? So obviously 34% of 1183 will be bigger than 35% of 910. A difference between 1183 and 910 that we have already calculated, that is 273, and 1%, that is 34% and 35%, the difference will be just 118 or around 100 only, right? So this data, that is 34% of 1183 will be bigger than 30% of 35% of 910, right? So in case of network operations, it is absolute expenditures are not getting down, right? So we just have two choices, that is the first one is business promotion and the second one is cost of trading sold. Okay, here from business promotion 4.5, from 4.5% to 3%, right? So that is the difference is around two-third, I'm sorry, one-third. That means one-third is the loss, that is, or you can say expenditure loss, and it is from 1% to 0.5%, so the 50% difference is there. So if difference is more than 30%, then only we have to consider it. Okay, so business promotion and cost of trading goods sold, two heads are there which are showing a decrease in expenditure. Okay, now let's see this set of questions. The following table provides information about the marks obtained by 16 students in three different sections, QA, LRDI and VA in mock test 10. The total marks obtained by students in mock test 10 is the sum of marks obtained by student in the mentioned three sections. It also provides information about the center at which a student is enrolled. The students belong to either one of the five centers, first, second, third. Each student is enrolled at only one center. Each student is given only one rank from 1 to 16 based on the marks obtained by him/her in the mock test 10. This rank is called overall rank. A student is given a numerically lesser rank than the other if the total marks obtained by A is greater than the total marks obtained by. Generally, it only happens. If the total marks obtained by A is the same as then by B, then the student having more marks in VA, okay, VA will be given priority. So the person will have a lesser numerical rank, that means better ranking. And even if the same the students in VA section are also same, then the student having, okay, LRDI will be given priority. Okay, so first of all, let's find out the total score of each student. Here Dennis 21 under 930, 1040, total score I just write over here. Then 20, 36, 15, 23, 38, 50, 21, 31, 52, 19 plus 17, 36, 21 plus 6, 27, 21 and 19, 40, 53, 30, 41, 25 and 45, 44, 20, 30, 33, 38, 46, 25 and 14, 30, 29, 12 and 22, 34, 24 plus 9, 33. So this is the total score I have written over here. Find the rank of Nidhi. Rank of Nidhi. Nidhi has got 33 marks. One more person, Nitya, is 33, and below 33 there is just one person, Rima, right? So Nidhi must be Nidhi and Nitya, both of them are having the same position. 16th position will go to this Rima, right? Then 15 and 14. So Nidhi must be either 14 or 15, right? Among Nidhi and Nitya. So we have to give the priority to verbal section. So let's see who has got more marks in verbal section. So Nitya has got 14 and Nidhi has got 17. So Nidhi will be getting less numerical ranking. So she will get 14th rank. So instead of arranging them in ascending order, just go by bottom, because you can see Nidhi has got 33 marks. That's very less. Okay. So Nidhi's rank is 14. Now, how many male students got more marks in VA than the marks obtained by Nitya in VA, but less marks in QA than the marks obtained by Avni in QA? Okay, so let's see. We need to say this. Nitya has got in VA, she has got 14 marks, right? So we have to find out the male students who has got more than 14 marks in VA, right? So in VA we have Dennis, we have Anurag, we have Pranab, we have Abhishek, we have Rahul, we have Manish, then we have, no, Anshul is 14, exactly equal to Nitya. Okay, so these many students have got more marks in VA than Nitya, okay, than that of Nitya. Now we have to see in QA the marks obtained, less marks obtained by Avni, that means less than Avni. Now Avni in QA, she is 21, so let's see, 20 less than 21. Yes, Dennis is there, then Anurag, Pranab, Abhishek, Rahul is excluded. Manish is there, then Anshul has got less, okay. Sachin has got more. Okay, so in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students have in this criteria and 6 students in this criteria. So in all 6 students. Okay. I'm sorry, but 5 students only meet both the criteria. Rahul is not there in QA section, and here, so we can exclude Rahul. Remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students fulfills both the criteria. So the answer will be 5. Okay. Find the number of female students who obtained more total marks than at most 4 female students and more total marks than at least 1 male students. Okay, so first of all, let's circle down the female students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what does this mean? The female students who obtained more total marks than at most 4 female students, right? So among 8 females, the number of females we are interested in should not get the rank better than 4, right? So let's see. Preeti 36, Shefali 27. So this Rima is last rank, that is 8th rank among girls. Then this is 46, very high. 46, 33. Rima is last, 8th. Then this Nitya is 7th. Okay, and Nidhi is again maybe 7 or maybe 6. Not interested in calculation. Aditi and Avni 38, 46. Okay, so Preeti has got 36 and Shefali has got 36, right? So their rank is at fourth, right? Fourth or fifth, because three females, Sagarika, Aditi and Avni, have got better rank than Preeti and Shefali, right? So we have two candidates who fulfill this criteria, at most 4 female students, right, who obtain more marks than at most 4 female students, at most. So in this case, Preeti and Shefali have got more marks than 3 female students. Okay, now we see uh, more total marks than at least 1 male student. So Preeti 36, Shefali 36, so we see at least 1 male student should be less than 36. So we have this Sachin 34. Okay, so at least 1 student we got, so no need to calculate further. So we have 2 female students, okay, who fulfill this criteria. Now, if the criteria for ranking the students is followed by each center to rank the student enrolled there, and then find the difference between overall rank and the center rank of Anshul. Overall rank is the rank where all the 16 students are taken into consideration, and center rank is the rank where only the student of that particular center is taken into consideration. Okay, so we see Anshul here. So overall rank, we see how many students have got more than 39. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So 7 students have got more than Anshul, that is 39. So Anshul might have got 8th rank overall. Okay. Now center rank, Anshul center is center 1. So center 1 total should be more than 39 and center should be 1, right? So let's see, center 1 total is more than 39. So this Sagarika is there, 1 student. Then we have this Pranab. Then we have Dennis. Okay, so 3 students are there. So difference is 5. I'm sorry, this is 3 out of total students. I'm sorry, total students from center 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Out of these 5 students, 3 students have got more marks than Anshul. So Anshul is actually 4th rank, right? So 8 minus 4, answer must be 4. Difference between his ranking is ours, so that is 8 minus 4, 4. Okay. From which center the maximum possible number of students obtain a total of at least 40 marks and at most a total of 54 marks. Both 1 and 2. Okay, let's see 1, center 1, total of at least 40. So 40, 50. Okay, 2 students from center 1. Out of total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students, 2 over here, and then yes. So we have a maximum students got at least 40 marks. So center 1 is correct, and we have to see that at most they should be getting 54 marks, right? So let's see, at most yeah, so that's also true because nobody has got 54 marks. So 1 is there, so we can eliminate the okay, second and third also we need to check. Center second, how many students are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, at least 40. 1 student, 2, 3, Yeah, so that's true. Okay. So if 1 and 2nd are fulfilling the criteria, no need to check further because only one of the option will be true. So this is the correct one. Okay. So we have done 5 questions based on this set. Now let's see this set of questions. The given table provides information about 5 PC manufacturers, namely Compaq, HCL, Acer, Zenith and Sony. It shows the selling price per PC and cost price per PC for each of the mentioned manufacturers. Also provide information about annual sales for each PC manufacturer for a given year and the sales tax as a percentage of selling price for each manufacturer. Okay, so here 5 companies, cost price and selling price, units sold, sales tax as percentage of selling price. So we can write down the sales tax in absolute number. 60,010, 60,010%, that must be 6,000. 15% of 15,750. 20% of 40,000, 8,000. 10% of 30,000, 3,000. 25% of 1 lakh, 25,000. So that is the sales tax amount for all these companies. For which of the following pairs of manufacturers the profit per PC sold by them is the same? Okay, profit is actually selling price minus cost price minus sales tax. Okay, so let's see for Compaq. Profit will be 60,000 minus 36,000, right? 60,000 is the selling price and cost price is 30 and the sales tax is 6,000. So precisely profit is 60,000 minus 36,000. So that is 24,000 profit per piece, right? Similarly, 20 and 27,500. So the profit is 22,500. Similarly, 40,000 minus 25 plus 833, so that's 7,000. Then this is 30,000, the 20 and 3, so it's again 7,000. Then 1 lakh minus 65,000, so that is 35,000. So for which of the following pairs of the profit per PC is the same? That is same for this Acer and Zenith. Okay, pretty simple. Which of the following manufacturers have the highest revenue from PC sales amongst the given 5 manufacturers? Okay, we can eliminate the options. See here the number of units. Compaq HP is 1 lakh and profit is revenue is so revenue will be selling price, this into this we have to do, right? So just observe which will produce the highest calculation. We can compare, don't actually multiply. See, this is less and this is also less. So this is discarded because we will be getting better product in this case. This and this is also discarded. 60, 30. Okay, that is half and here it is double. So these two calculation are same and this is 40% less and this is very less. Okay, so this is also discarded. So we have Compaq, HP and Zenith. Same calculation. Okay, so don't go for actual multiplication, just observe. Which of the following manufacturers combine the maximum sales tax? Okay, maximum sales tax. Sales tax is that means we have to take this data into consideration also, right? So we have the 3 data that we have to multiply. That means this into this into this. That is the sales tax we are talking about. So 1 lakh into 6,000. So these 2 data we have to take, this and this. Okay, because we have already calculated the sales tax. So in this case 1 lakh into 6,000. In this case this into this. I just take initial figure, so it is 10 into 6, 10 here, 6 here, then it is 7.5 and 7.5 here, it is 3.5 and here it is 8. Then we have 20 into 3, then we have 1.5 into 25. Okay, so that comes to 60. That's a 75 square, 5625, so that's less than 60. This is also 60. That's very less than 60. That's very less than 60. 25 into 1.5 is just 37.5. So we have this and this. That is the first one, Compaq, and this fourth one, that is Zenith. Okay, so that's pretty simple. I hope you are clear. No need to write these many zeros, otherwise you'll be wasting your time. Okay, and sometimes you may get confused also. So how many zeros to be put? Okay, so avoid zeros. I hope that's clear to you. Now let's see the set of questions. The table given below provides information about the number of female and male professors in each of the 4 universities. A, B, C, D as a percentage of total number of professors in the city. Male professors, female professors. The number of female professors in the universities A, B, C, D is P, Q, R, S respectively. The following paragraph provides information about the values of P, Q, R, and S. Okay, so here P plus Q plus R is 4600, Q plus R plus S this, Q minus R, P minus S. So using all this we can calculate the value of P, Q, R, S. So this way we can calculate the number of female professors in universities A, B, C and D, right? So first of all we do that. P plus Q plus R is 4600 and Q plus R plus S is 6100. So if we deduct this from this, we'll be getting the value of S minus P. So S minus P is 6100 minus 4600, so that's 1500, and S plus P is 3300, right? That's given. So if we add both of them, we'll be getting 2S is equal to 4800, that means S is equal to 2400. So S is 2400 and P will be S 2400 plus 900 is 3300. So S and P we got. So if we put up the value of S and P over here in these two equations, we can calculate the value of R and S also. So P plus Q plus R is 4600 and out of that P is 900. So Q plus R is 4600 minus 900. So Q plus R is 3700. Similarly, Q plus R plus S is 6100. Out of that S is 2400. So Q plus R is 61 minus 24, that is 37. So now Q plus R we have already got. So Q minus R is 500. Okay, so solve to 37 plus 542, that means Q is equal to 2100 and R is equal to 1600. Okay, now the first question over here, what is the number of female professors in University C? University C, the female professors are R, right? So the value of R is 1600. So that's the correct option. What is the absolute difference between the number of male professors in University A and number of female professors in University D? Female professors in University D is S, that is 2400, I write over here, and number of male professors in University A. Now number of female professors in University A is 900, right? Female professors University A is 900. So 10% is actually 900. So 90% must be this 99 times of 10. So 9 times of 900 is 8100, right? So it's 8100. So the difference between 8100 and 2400, that we have to find out. So that is 5700. Okay. What is the ratio of total number of professors in University D to the number of male professors in University C? So University D female professors is S, right? That is 2400. So this is 40%, this is 60%, so that is just 1.5 times. So 1.5 times of 2400 will be 3600, right? So male professors in universities D is 3600 and female professors 2400, so total is 6000, right? Similarly, number of male professors in University C. University C, female professors are PQR 1600, right? Female professors 1600 and male professors are 4 times than female professors 2080, right? So male professors will be 6400, 4 times of 1600, so that's 6400. So that is 15:16. Okay. In which of the mentioned 2000 professors are transferred to the universities A, B, C, D in the ratio this. In which of the mentioned university the number of male professors as a percentage of the total number of professors in that university is maximum? So the transfer is 4321. So that's 800, 600, 400 and 200, right? So but we don't know the breakup of this 800, 600, 400 and 200 as between males and females, right? So in the first go it seems that we cannot answer the question, but still we just try to answer because we have been given the percentage breakup of male and female initially over here. So what we do is in University A, female professors are 900, that we have already calculated, and male professors are 8100. So the total number of professors initially it is 9000, right? Now 800 more professors are transferred, so the total number of professors will be 9800, right? Out of this 9800, if at all we consider all the professors who are transferred over here in this university, if they are female, right? So then 800 females are there, so 800 plus 900, 1700 females are there. So the remaining ones, that is initially what we were having is 8100, right? 8100 were males. All the new transfer we are considering to be female. So we can find out whether A, because A has 90% males, so whether A is the correct answer or not, let's see, right? So if that's why we are considering all of them to be female, right? Now 8100 out of 9800, it is obviously more than 80%. If 9800 is, instead of this, if it is 10,000, still then it is 81%, right? So it is less than 10,000, so our data will be definitely more than 81%, right? So in this case, the male professors, even if we consider all the transfer are of female professors, still the male professors are more than 80%, that's around 82%. In all other cases these are less than 80%, right? So no need to calculate further, but and we can answer the question that A is the correct choice, right? Okay, number of male professors as a percentage of the total number of professors is the maximum in University A. Two 2000 professors are transferred to University ABCD. This is this ratio. If the total number of female professors that have been transferred is equal to the number of female professors in University A. Okay, female professors overall, like in University ABCD, is equal to the number of female professors in University A after the transfer. Then the total number of male professors that have been transferred cannot be less than. Okay, so see, total transfer in University A is 800, that we have already calculated, right? Initially the female professors were 900, so at max 900 plus 800, that is 1700 female professors will be there after transfer in University A, right? So the total number is actually 2000 and total female at max is 1700, so the total number of males cannot be less than 300. Okay, so that was pretty simple. I hope you are clear. Now this set of questions. The following table gives the export figures of wheat, rice, maize for a particular country, Finland, for the period of 10 years, 93 to 2002. Okay, wheat, rice, maize, 1000 kilogram, value. Okay. What is the difference in rupees between rice export and the maize export from Finland in 2001? In 2001 in rupees, right? So rice is 62.6 and maize is 421. Okay, value over here is in rupees crore and over here it is in rupees lakh, so be careful about it. 421 lakh, that means 4.21 crore. So here it is 62 crore around and here it is 4 crore, so the difference is around 58 crore. Okay, no need to go for actual calculation, just one option is there around this. Okay, so it's 58 crore around. For how many of the given years has wheat export been less than half of rice export from Finland in kilograms? Okay, wheat is less than half, that means rice should be more than double, that we have to find out, right? Rice should be more than double. Now just start from 93. Rice 45 into 2 is 90, so it's not more than double. 49 into 2, if it is, it's not even more than double. 55, double will be 110, so it is also not more than double. 53, even if it is 54, if the entire figure, so the double will be 110, so it is more than double, right? 65, 130 to 133, so it's more than double. 76, it's a 766 as 153, so it is less than double. 88, or if it is 90, then it is more than double. Even if it is 90, it's more than 182, even it is double. 87, same, double. 90, even in this case it is double. Here it is 108, so double will be 216, so it's wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in 5 cases, wheat is less than half or rice is more than double, we can say. Okay. Which of the following years mark the third highest difference between rice and maize exports in kilogram from Finland? Okay, here we can see rice kilogram and maize in kilogram, 1000 kilograms. So just delete the last 3 zeros from both the calculations. So we are left with this 2,15,000 and here it is 1812. So this difference is actually very big, right? These are very small data. Okay, so don't go for the actual difference. You just try to find out. That's 2,15,000. It's 1812, and here it is a difference between these two is 9,000-10,000, but here the difference is like 20-30, right? So 2002 is the highest difference between rice and maize, and second is this. This is 2002 is first, then this is second, then we see the third. It is 183, 1705, and 186 and 1596. So here the difference between these two is 3000. Here the difference is around 1600, around 100 only, right? So this difference must be greater, right? Because here it is just 100 less and here it is 3000 more, right? So 1999 must be the third highest. Okay, don't go for the actual calculation, just observe it. What is the approximate average export price of rice over the given period in Finland? Very calculative question. Average price, that means this is the value divided by this. You'll be getting the per kilogram price, and if you have to do this calculation for all 10 years, then you have to find out the average. Okay, but if we see options, the options are like quite far away, so you can get an around idea of the average price, right? See here, it is 400 rupees per ton. 1 ton is equal to around 1000 kilograms, so 400 per ton, that means 40 paisa per kilogram price is over here. Here is it is rupees 4 per kilogram, 40 and 400, right? So 40 paisa per kilogram, 4 rupees per kilogram, 40 and 400, right? So we can get an around idea, right? You just take any of the year. Suppose I take maybe year 2002, right? The total quantity is, total value is 63.4 crore, right? 6 that is 63.4 crore around, and that divide by quantity, that is 215656000, right? 3 zeros, 3 0, 1 2 3 4 5 6 data, 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 data in 6 digits in numerator and 6 digits in denominator, right? And numerator is starting from 6 and denominator starting from 2, so that seems to be around 3 times, right? So the price should be around 3 rupees per kilogram. So among the options, if we see, average should be around this only, right? Because the other options 40, 440 will 40 paisa will be absurd option, right? If it is 3, it should, the other must be moving around this only. So the closest option is rupees 4 per kilogram. Otherwise, if you are going to calculate the going to make the actual calculation, you will be wasting too much of time, so it's not worth, right? So rupees per 4 per kilogram will be the right answer. And if it is more than there's a 6 digits, then then we have to put up 10, but in this case it is 5 digits in the numerator and I'm sorry, 6 digits in the numerator and 6 digits in the denominator, right? But the initial figure over here it is 6 and initial figure over here it is 2, so we just consider it to be around 3 times. So we are not going for actual calculation. Which of the following statements is true? The average export price of wheat has decreased during each year for the given period in Finland. Export price of wheat. Export price. Price must be value by quantity. Okay. So value, it is increased over here and quantity increased. Yeah, it can be very well observed that the statement is wrong, right? Average export price has not decreased continuously. You can see over here 39 by 55 and here 39 by 53, right? So it's not correct. So just leave one. So this option and this is gone. The average export price of maize is less than the average export price of rice over the given period in Finland. Average export price of maize is less than average export price of rice. So that is so completely wrong. The average export price of maize is in fact more, right? See, a value by quantity. Here the values 3.43 crore, 3.73 crore. Here the value is, suppose I take this any of this example, it is almost say 19 times, but 1432 and 89656, it is much more than 19 times, right? So the value of maize is in fact more. So that is also wrong. So first and second, both of them are wrong. Okay, third only we need to see because it's option over there. Average export price of rice is more than that of wheat during each year for the given period. Okay, average export price of rice is more than wheat each year. Okay, export price of rice, here it is 57 by 89 and here it is 38 by 45. So if we compare both of them, in fact if it is, it's around 89, to maintain the same ratio, if I make it double, around 90, so it must be 76, right? So you can say this this fraction is much bigger than this fraction, right? So in this case, even if you take the example of 93, the price of wheat is more than price of rice, right? So export price of rice is more than wheat, that's wrong. Okay, we just took 1993 as an example. We can check for others also. So all the three statements are wrong. Okay, I hope you are clear.